Hello friends and followers, welcome back to another edition of Daniel's Tech World. This is my super geeky little side project on YouTube where I talk about technology. And one of those weird subjects that I think to myself every time I do a video, like, who cares? No one else cares about this stuff, Daniel. And then to my surprise, I get comments and responses on Reddit from people who do actually care. So today we're going to be talking about optical media again, and I'm doing a remake today of my previous video showing the archival grade optical media on the market because firstly, I left out a couple of weird options. And if we're going to be talking about something as weird as using optical media in the year 2024, it seems remiss not to include these the more obscure products even within this category. So I'm going to include those in this video. And I'm going to leave out the sales pitch. If you're into using optical media for archival and backup, you probably already know the reasons why it's actually not a bad backup and archive medium for certain types of backup and archiving, specifically relatively low data. Optical media continues to have a loyal following in the particularly in the home backup enthusiast community, definitely among videographers and photographers, despite the fact that the cloud, actually, you know what, if I'm mentioning the cloud, I'm already getting into the sales pitch as to why optical media is still something people use in 2024. And for the purpose of brevity, I'm going to not include that in this video. Rather, I'm just going to show you guys the products. So let me jump into my presentation, my updated presentation. I'll put timestamps in this video, so if you just want to jump ahead to the type of optical media that interests you, go ahead. But I think these are somewhat, these are my kind of notes on that I put together here. So firstly, the big one really is that archival is a marketing claim. People on the little pockets of the internet where folks talk about optical media backup, including the data hoarder subreddit that I'm familiar with. People there have, different opinions about all this kind of stuff, and different products and even different technologies for what the manufacturers call archival grade. So it's not like there is some kind of optical media authority that polices the use of this term. So it's not a scientific term. It's not a controlled terminology. It's just a marketing claim. So people will evaluate each product according to its perceived merits. Secondly, there's a few different manufacturers on the market, not a huge amount. And because optical media has greatly decreased in popularity over the years, people are always concerned that these manufacturers are selling old stock. The ones you will see a lot are Verbatim and Maxwell. I personally use Verbatim just because it's I'm using M-Discs for optical archiving. But some people really like Maxwell. I think people probably have a feeling about this, like which one is better. And then Sony has a couple of really random optical media products, which makes sense because Sony is huge in video. So they have a couple as well. This market overview is based on an Amazon search on January 15th, 2024. We're halfway through January already. And I'm going to order this according to the size of storage. So we'll start with CDs and go up to DVDs and go up to Blu-rays. Final note is that optical media is, I'm probably wrong. There probably is a rewritable optical media intended for archiving, but I've never seen it. Basically, all the optical media for archiving is what's called worm media. Worm means you write it once, you read it many times, so you can only write the disc once. And basically, when we're talking about getting data onto discs in a way that is as resilient as possible, that's generally better, and the slower write speeds are usually a good thing as well. In general, with optical media, you want to write at the slowest speed that you can tolerate for the least chance of errors. And when you get into M-Discs, you'll see they actually write pretty slowly. It's quite a tedious process. And I just mentioned again the data hoarder subreddit. There's probably other places online. I feel like there is one other forum I'm forgetting, but anyway. Okay, so let's start with CDs. Right, so these are 0 to 700 megs. So don't discount them. They're useful for small archival jobs. For example, you, want to give a client a copy of a photo shoot you did for them. and you've got less than 700 megs of data. So there's no MDisc CDs that I've ever seen. If people have seen them, let me know. I'm almost certain that MDiscs never did CDs. They just started with DVDs and then did MDisc Blu-rays. So, but this product exists. It's called Ultralife Gold Archival CDRs from Verbatim. And these are, as you can see, a 50 spindle is $80 on Amazon. That's the price I got today, which works out to $1.60 per disc. Something people should know about me is that I'm terrible at maths, and I did all these on the fly, so I hope they're accurate. $1.60, so, not really that expensive at all. And this is what they look like. They have this nice little archival grade writing on the inset, and they're like gold on the bottom side, which is, I think, quite attractive. So let me just read again. So I'm just emphasizing this is marketing stuff from Verbatim. This is what they say about them. Now more than ever, so this is what they say about archival grade. And just remember that like these Amazon product descriptions are kind of frozen in history. They're like from when these were released. So they talk about stuff that seems like ridiculous by today's standards. Like you can fit 30 songs on a CD, or like you can fit 500 photos, like, back in the day when that was like something impressive. So they're kind of funny, but this is what they say about their archival grade stuff. So now more than ever, technology plays an increasingly important role in our lives. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And this is the actual schematic of, and I think I replicated that. Yes, I did. So if you want to have a closer look at this, they say there's a layer of hard code protection. This is their this is Verbatim's AZO technology that they make a big deal about, but they don't I feel like they don't kind of like say too much about it either. It's like, oh, this is like this better recording die. And I don't even know if they say what AZO stands for. Maybe they do. You can leave me a comment if you know. So there's a hard code protection. This is what the Verbatim how they describe their archival products, and they seem to use the same diagram for CDs and DVDs. So their hardcore protection, then there's a substrate, then there's this mysterious AZO recording layer. Then you have the silver reflective layer, the gold recording layer, and some glue holding these layers together. And this is obviously, we're talking at a very, very kind of microscopic level. Why use archival grade? I'm trying to make myself small so I can fit on the screen somewhere. Here we go. I found a little spot for myself. Each Verbatim archival grade disc is manufactured using proprietary dual reflective layers DRL technology to maximize compatibility and longevity. This dual reflective layer technology consists of a silver layer for broad compatibility, and the gold layer is for the archival life. So they do make, I'll just jump back 2 slides, or 4 slides even. Verbatim they still make regular CDs. So there is something different about these archival grade ones that are gold, as they're explaining here. So, and likewise, they still make regular DVD-Rs that aren't marketed as archival. So these products are actually engineered differently. The question open for debate is how much of a difference all this stuff actually makes. The gold layer prevents oxygen from corroding the silver reflective layer, which is a primary factor limiting the lifetime of standard CD and DVD. So the gold layer, it just basically it makes it a little bit less susceptible to oxidization. Oxidization is one of the primary causes of corrosion in optical discs. Sorry, I'm saying blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to skip over some of this detail because it is quite detailed. Compatibility: the highly reflective silver layer allows the archival grade disc to look like a standard silver disc to optical drives and recorders, providing a low initial error rate and increasing compatibility. Non-erasable and non-magnetic, like standard CDR and DVD-R media. Verbatim archival grade, and again, as I said, I think it's the same tech for CDs and DVDs. They're just different capacity. Where was I? Verbatim archival grade media is write once. So again, that's the word media we talked about earlier, meaning that once data is recorded, it can't be accidentally erased. Unlike hard drives or tape-based media, hey, they mentioned tape, excellent. So people are always saying, why would you possibly use optical? You can use tape. And I think it's a matter of debate how susceptible LTO is to bit rot and data rot. The optical manufacturers say that optical is better, but it's at least a valid pub argument. Unlike hard drives or tape-based media, I'm looking this way because I'm reading from the other screen. Unlike hard drives or tape-based media, optical discs aren't vulnerable to damage from magnetic fields. Optical media is the most durable data storage product and is ideal for keeping data preserved. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still use it. Medical imaging and government still use optical media all the time for various archiving projects. Verbatims, and this is just a little bit more detail. Again, Verbatim's gold archival grade media has been scientifically tested. All right, I'm not going to just continue with all of this because it's basically Verbatim's claims, but people can inspect those claims themselves. They're up there on the Amazon listings. Okay, this is one of the weird ones I mentioned earlier, right? This is this company called Burlington, and they produce these 24 karat gold they call them ultimate archival mastering CDs, and they're $10 a pop. But they describe this as the highest quality CDR of all time, designed for the most critical applications. So if you're a recording artist and you want to, frame a CD of your record, you can use something like this. It'll look pretty cool. Maybe they make them without the Burlington logo, so you can have your own brand. I feel like when recording artists frame CDs, they usually have their own artwork on the actual CD or it's blank. But anyway, you can also get these in 10 packs for $80, so that's a little bit cheaper. So yeah, you can write data onto these 24 karat gold CDs as well. That concludes. Oh no, there's a couple of other random products I found in the archival grade CDR category. One of them is from this company called TDK, and the other one is from Maxwell. Maxwell say this is archival grade, but they don't quite give as much claims as Verbatim. Finally, I found a second Verbatim product. This one is called Data Life Plus. So it's a different series and it's a bit cheaper. It's $20 for 50. I get a bit distrustful when stuff is too cheap because I guess like most people, I associate price with quality. But anyway, I'm not sure if people know the difference between these two different supposedly, archival, durable. This one they don't make as much noise about, so I'm going to assume it's like a lesser quality product. Just to point out as well, you can see, because Amazon released these numbers about how many people buy the stuff. You just look at the numbers for the top products and all, and you do see there are still people buying these. For Verbatim's regular CDs, the non-CDRs, the non-archival ones, they say there's more than 3,000 that were bought in the past month alone. And for another product, the next product in the list, in the CDR list on Amazon, they're printable CDRs. They say more than 1,000. So more than 4,000 purchases for just those two products in just the past month. So yeah, people are still buying these things 100%. Okay, let's move on to DVDs. So DVDs, there's two types of DVDs. There are single layer, which have a capacity of 4.7 gigs. And you've got dual layer ones that are up to 8.5 gigs. So we'll see if these are the archival options I found in both. So Verbatim, firstly, so there are M-discs in DVDs, but there are also what they call, this is a product that is not M-disc, but it's just regular DVD. By Verbatim, they call this product Ultralife Gold Archival Grade DVD-R. And they sell them in both 50 spindle and 5 jewel case products. These worked out to $2.14 per disc, according to my calculation there. Then, of course, we have the M-discs. We'll talk about M-discs more later, the difference being that the data is stored by pitting into an inorganic layer instead of optical contrast, ablating a dye. So these are $50 for, how many does it say? A 15 pack. And they have a write speed of 4 times. I'm just going to look at the write speed on the previous one, up to 8x. So for M-discs, you'll see a really slow write speed, maximum write speed. These are up to 8x, and M-disc is only up to 4x on DVDs. So again, although it means obviously it'll take longer to engrave the thing, it generally seems to be correlated with the longevity of the data medium. So low write speeds are good in a sense. So here we have another product, this one from Maxwell. You can see again, they're talking about Word Media and they call this superior archival life. The product name is Max Data DVD-R, and they say it's up to 16x writing speed. They sell these things in 25 packs and 100 packs, like on the left. So if you want to buy a bunch of ones relatively cheaply, this would be a good option, I think. But I'm distrustful of the 16x speed on this one. If I was looking for something to really, really do archival, I go with MDisc every time. Even though people will say they're just selling regular DVDs and Blu-rays, I figure even if that's the case, they're probably selling the best of their archival products. So that's my recommendation for folks really gung-ho on the archival thing. So now we have the dual layer DVD, which are generally called DVD plus or DL for dual layer. These are 8.5 gigs, maximum write speed of 8. These ones are actually RW, it says. So I'm take back what I said previously, but these aren't really branded as archival. These are branded as just AZO because of that supposedly better thing. And I was just trying to find what exactly this AZO stuff is about exactly. And this is what Verbatim say about it. Recognizes a choice for professional users. Verbatim DVD plus R features AZO recording die. So it's a type of recording die, and it provides what they say is the highest level of read-write performance, reliability, and archival life. So if you know about this mysterious AZO die, what exactly is in it, what's in the regular die, please let me know in the comments. I don't know any more than what I have on the screen. So finally, let's look at Blu-rays. So we have BDR. So I'm including MDisc in this category because it's just really, I have the MDisc schematic I've put up. No, I'm not on commission from MDisc. I feel like at this point I should be, although I also feel that with the amount of MDiscs being sold in the world, it wouldn't be a very lucrative side gig for me. But I've shown this a bunch of times, so I'll show it one more time here. There's 25 gig Blu-rays and 100 gigs. The 100 gigs are called BDXL, and they're quad layer. So instead of double layer, I think there are dual layer Blu-rays. I'm sure there are. But there's also quad layer. So there's 4 layers of data stored in them somehow. And they're called BDXL. So in the BDXL, in the MDisc family, so these are the biggest MDiscs that have been made and I think will probably ever be made. I have to look into this 1 terabyte archival optic. I feel like I've seen that someone's working on that project, but not on the market currently. So these are the MDisc BDXLs. They are selling for $66 discounted today. That's actually not a bad price. Not too bad anyway. Although I can understand why they're probably trying to get rid of these things. They sell them in dual boxes and they have a 6x max write speed. Here's just a photo I did of the MDisc product family. Just all the options available within Blu-rays. So you have these ones that are written with verbatim stuff on them. These are the 25 gig BDRs. This is what I use. I use these ones all the time for backing up my YouTube videos. They also have these blank ones which you can print with if you have a disc printer. Sorry, excuse me, I'm wrong. These are in the top right, these are the 50 gig ones with an 8x top speed, and the bottom left, these are the inkjet printable things. They're a bit cheaper. If you want to save cash that way, you can. Oh yeah, and here we have the BDR, the 50 gig MDiscs are indeed BDR DL. They're dual layer. So they sell MDiscs in 1 layer, 2 layer and 4 layer configurations, and Blu-rays with 25, 50 and 100 gig capacities. Here is what they say makes them different. On the left, we have a standard optical disc and the data being written through pitting, through taking this die and putting it down on the disc surface. And the MDisc, the difference is apparently that there's this proprietary technology that is an inorganic layer, and the writing process doesn't involve putting dye onto the surface. It involves pitting into that layer and recording data that way. So that's what they say is the difference. I don't work for MDisc, and I don't know. I trust it personally, but if people don't, that's 100% fine. I'm not selling anyone. I'm just showing guys, just showing what is on the market currently. Okay, so finally I mentioned Sony have one random product. This is it. You can see there's some Japanese text on it. It's called BDXL, and it's a quad layer. This actually is a 128 gig product from Sony, and they sell them in these 25 spindles, but they're a little bit expensive. That's the end of my presentation. This is what I could find. I'm not saying it's exhaustive, but it should be pretty close to exhaustive for what's available in the optical media archival market when I'm recording this in January 2024. Hope this was interesting. Thanks for watching. If you want to get more videos from me about tech subjects, do consider subscribing here on YouTube.